Hello, everyone, and welcome to Navigating the Future of Trucking and Transportation with me, your host, Jerri Banks. Look, I want to thank you so much for being here. We have had some amazing shows. Today is no different. A lot of information and a lot of details on how you can prepare your career for and stay ahead of the future of trucking and transportation. Now, in today's show, I've got some great information in regards to a partnership and a release of information on Aurora. Aurora is a self driving truck technology company. And they have some really big news that I'm going to be sharing in the show today. I'm also going to be sharing another partnership that they have with another a truck manufacturer. So I'll be sharing that. We've got a traditional truck driving job that I'll be sharing. And also, I'll be talking about some alternative pathways in the transportation industry. Now, if you're new here, welcome. Do me a favor and just take a few minutes to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you turn on the notifications so that you can be notified the minute that I go live. Every time that I go live, you need to get a notification. Tomorrow's show, I'm going to go ahead and give you. Actually, you know what? I'm going to hold that to the end. I'll hold that to the end so you'll stick around so you'll know exactly what's going to be going down on tomorrow's show. Now, if you're new here, again, welcome, welcome, welcome. I thank you. On this show, I talk about the future of trucking and the future of transportation because it's not just trucking. I don't want us to put ourselves in a box just trucking because it's supply chain. It is aviation. It is railroad. There's so many avenues in the transportation industry that you can learn about, expand upon, and go branch out to excel your career and ultimately your bottom line because that's what it is all about, being able to excel so that we can take care of our family and those who matter most in our lives. And so again, we talk about automation and autonomy and new technology entering into the transportation industry. I talk about a traditional truck driving job, and I also share jobs in the autonomous sector. And this is where you can take your current skills and combine them with some new skills that you pick up and be a game changer for someone's company. And then lastly, on the learning lane, I share actionable tips that you can take and use right now to help you upskill and reskill for this new future that our industry is moving into. When we come back, I'm going to share again what I talked about just in the beginning, the partnership and some news between Aurora and someone who's really, really big that we all know in a lot of spaces. I'll be right back. I'm Jerri Banks. Our agency focuses on driver recruitment and driver education. We focus on helping drivers and preparing them for the future of trucking and transportation as autonomous vehicles and automation enters the industry. Our goal is to ensure that you are equipped with the skills that you need to be successful in this new way of life. So make sure you connect with me across all of my platforms, Jerri Banks, Autonomous Trucking. I look forward to connecting with you. Yes, I look forward to connecting with you. Make sure that you are tapped into all of my social media platforms. There they are, right there on the screen, right there. Make sure you're connected with me. I want to share some really big news in the self driving autonomous industry, and it's a partnership between Uber Freight and Aurora. And so Uber Freight, who we all know has it's they didn't start with Uber Freight, right? They started with what we call ride hailing, which is a taxi. It essentially took over the taxi industry, and we still see taxis; they're still out there. But Uber is a verb. Hey, I'm gonna go Uber. How are you gonna get there? I'm gonna Uber. It's a verb. It's an action word. We have taken a brand and we have named it and use it as an action verb. And it's just like, some of the other entities that are out there. If you can think of one, I can't think of any more off the top of my head. Uber just, I know we use Uber as a verb. I'm gonna Google's another one. I'm gonna go Google it. We say that all the time. I tell my kids all the time, hey, if you want to know something, go Google it. Like we've taken a company's name and utilized it as a verb. So Uber is doing some amazing things just in transportation in general. They've got Uber, the ride hailing, which you can use an app to have someone pick you up. You can When I'm actually working on our aviation trips and working with my aviation clients, I don't rent a car. Wherever I go, it doesn't matter where we are. We were in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. I've been in London, in Paris, in Germany, Frankfurt, Germany. Everywhere I went, we never rented a car. We always Ubered. Uber is the safest way for us to move around in most countries. Let me say that, in most countries, Uber is the safest way for us to move around. So Uber is huge when it comes to ride hailing. They have an app. Uber is also big when it comes to Uber Eats. When I'm traveling and I'm at the hotel and I don't want to go out, I'm going to Uber me some food. I'm going to have Uber Eats drop off some food. Now we're transitioning into a place where now we see Uber Freight. So Uber Freight's been around for many years, right? And if you're not in the trucking and transportation industry, Uber Freight is it's an app essentially, or a website essentially, where you can go and you can find loads. Of course, you have to have a set up a partnership with them. You have to work with them to be able to utilize their system and software for loads. If you're a carrier, now if you are a shipper, you can put your loads on their Uber Freight board and have someone select someone or have someone find your load, and they, essentially get your load, get booked on your load, and move your load. Now we're transitioning into a new world, into a new place where Uber Freight, starting in the fall, is establishing, and well, they've already established, they've been had this partnership established, but they're going to use driverless trucks on a lane between Dallas and Houston. And if you've been watching me for any length of time, you know that Texas is the place for autonomous trucking. Texas is all things autonomous trucking, and it's because of a few reasons. The regulatory environment is very friendly. The government here in Texas, they want to work with the self-driving software companies. They want to connect with them, get them out on the roads. They're already meeting with the DPS, which is the Department of Public Safety. They're already meeting with first responders. They're working closely with these software companies, these software self-driving technology software companies, to be able to expand autonomous trucks across the state of Texas and across the nation, essentially. And so Uber is, and it's a subsidiary of Uber. It's not Uber Freight. It's Uber Technology. And so the transportation and logistics company, which is a subsidiary of Uber Technologies, they're going to employ Pittsburgh-based Aurora's self-driving system. And so Aurora's self-driving system is not just for trucks. Their self-driving system is designed to operate multiple vehicle types. So they have self-driving software, the Aurora Driver, for that they put in cars. They have it in semi trucks, and so they're not. It's not just for semi trucks. It's for passenger cars as well, and so they're going to work it at some point into their Uber ride hailing software. I guarantee you. And so autonomous trucks, why are they here? What are they saying the need for autonomous trucks is? And they're saying the need is to make the goods move more efficiently, and ensure that the industry is more sustainable from the long haul, and also from a safety perspective. That's why we're seeing the adoption of more and more autonomous trucks into the trucking and transportation industry. Now, this program, This program is an industry first program. And so this is like the first of its kind, and it's going to help to facilitate and accelerate to push forward the adoption of autonomous trucks with the carriers over at Uber Freight. And there's a lot of carriers over at Uber Freight. And I like the way Aurora's business model is designed, because it's designed not just for the large companies with hundreds and hundreds of fleets in their trucks in their fleet. It's designed for even that small carrier that wants that level of autonomy to be able to operate the truck autonomously. So their software can go into your truck even if you are a one or a two or a five truck operation. And so that's different. That's different from any of the other self-driving technology companies that I've been talking about, and that I've researched and worked looked into. And so the program with Aurora and Uber, it's going to work in two parts. And so initially, Aurora will haul for shippers on the Uber Freight network using human drivers. And again, I say human drivers because that is what's the word that's used. It's not, truck drivers. It's not, you know, it's human drivers. They're using human drivers. The wording human drivers more and more is being used. And so initially they're going to start with using human drivers, and then the company will select carriers who currently use the Uber Freight network to be a part of their autonomous program. So initially, they'll start with human drivers. Aurora is going to do it. And then down the line, they will select carriers who actually use the network to be a part of the autonomous truck program. And so Aurora currently already works for companies like FedEx, and or works and partners with companies like FedEx and Hirschbox. And they are doing and moving freight currently across, again, the state of Texas. So they currently have lanes between Dallas and Houston. They have lanes between Dallas and El Paso, and throughout that central Texas region. And so eventually, long term, these are long term goals. It's not a light switch that's going to flip off, but it's a long term goal is to pull the drivers from the trucks entirely. And so the drivers would take on the initial leg of the lane, and then the final stretch of the trip, where the lanes are smaller and the turns are tighter, and there may be mountains or things like that. The driver will take on the more difficult lanes, the lanes where an autonomous truck won't be able to go. And so that's your city driving with a large semi truck. That's your city driving. That's your being able to make those tight turns. And so it's really important that if you're in this industry, that right now how the industry is propelling forward, how they're moving forward, what they're doing to move forward. And so this is a good representation of what the industry is transitioning to, moving towards, and what it's going to look like in the next 5. Let me back up. What it's going to look like in the next 3 to 7 years. Now, will it be 100%? We're going to see autonomous trucks everywhere? No, but it's going to be that we see them, and it's going to be just as much as the norm of you saying, "I'm gonna," because my grandparents and even my parents weren't saying, "Oh, let me call a Uber." None of them were saying that. If I say that to my mama now, she's like, Uber? What's a Uber? But if I say that to my kids, or if I say I'm gonna Uber Eats me some food, I'm gonna order some food on Uber Eats. If I say that to my mom or my grandparents, they'll be like, well, what are you talking about? But if I say that to my kids, they automatically understand and know, because then they immediately, I say, I'm okay, I'm gonna Uber eat some food. They're immediately texting me their order. they're immediately sending me exactly what they want to order. And so I say that to say that it's not a matter of if or when, it's a matter of it's here. And so you as an individual in this transportation industry, your focus, your sole focus right now should be to put your head down, learn, understand, and prepare. Those are three things that you need to be doing right now as an individual, as a transportation professional in this industry, whether it's trucking, whether it's, aviation, whether it's railroad, all of these places are changing. Trucking is finally catching up with a lot of other industries. Trucking is finally catching up with a lot of other industries when it comes to technology because trucking has always historically been antiquated. Like when I first started in the trucking industry, because remember, I moved from aviation, was in aviation from 97. Ooh, I'm dating myself, 1997. My kids say, "You were in the 90s?" Yes, I was in the 90s. Okay. I was actually in the 70s because I'm a 70s baby. But when I say that trucking is transitioning very, very quickly. Trucking is moving up to its times because there's a lot of companies still operating in the 70s. There's a lot of companies still using spreadsheets when we got Google Sheets and Excel and Microsoft and all these things. There's still so many companies just working off of a spreadsheet. So the technology is finally catching up in a lot of areas and with a lot of, and it's catching up very, very quickly speedy like. And so as a worker in this industry, as a business owner in this industry, it's very important that you, like I said, research, learn, prepare, and get ready. You have to get ready. And there's things that you need to be doing. And that's why I'm here every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, to keep you updated, to share information. And then even on our learning lane, the learning lane, I want you to make sure you always stick around to that learning lane because I'm dropping gems. And tomorrow, it's going to be all about a very special topic that is near and dear to my heart. And I will actually have a representative, a director from a school. And I'll talk about that at the end of the show. Let me get back to this article. This again, so it's Uber Freight and they're partnering with Aurora and they're pushing out a new development. It's a new development. It's a new partnership that they have in the fall of this year, not 2027, 2028, the fall of this year. They're partnering, Uber's partnering with Aurora, and they are going to be traveling on a self-driving route between Dallas and Houston. And that's amazing. It's new, it's interesting, and I can't wait to see how it unfolds. I'm in Houston, so I'm looking forward to seeing all of the developments and all of the enhancements and the economic impacts that it makes and brings to our city. Because if the autonomous truck is doing the long haul portion, somebody still needs to drive around 610. Somebody still needs to drive on I-10 and 45 and deliver on these little small side streets. That's going to increase the opportunities for my son to come off the road. That's again, let me say that because you might have that same, thing that you want as well for your life and for your family. That's going to increase the opportunity for my son to come off the road and not be gone weeks at a time. He's on week 3. Now, he has 2 little boys. And so I can't wait for local opportunity. And then as a recruitment company, because I own a recruitment company and we have our education agency that focuses on educating and reskilling and upskilling you for this new future. As a recruiter, when a local job opens up, it goes so fast. That's why I tell my team, I tell them to remind your drivers that if you text them or you email them or you call them about a local job that they've been on the wait list for, they better answer. You better answer because it goes so fast. Everybody wants to be at home. And nobody wants to miss birthdays and holidays and family reunions and hear about he was just on the road for Father's Day and hear about not hear about this social media land. You can actually go see the birthday parties and the baby showers and the family reunions and the picnics and all the things that you missed while you're out over the road. So I say that to say that the local jobs, I do personally believe, will increase. We'll see an increase because drivers will need to do those more difficult first and last leg lanes to be able to get the freight from that hub of where the truck will be to the actual store or to the actual distribution center. And so these companies are developing their autonomous tech, and they're saying that, of course, the driverless vehicles are going to improve the safety. That is the ultimate long term goal: is to improve the safety and reduce the number of crashes that occurred last year or 2021 or 2022. I know that there were over 40,000 crashes, and it has increased each year. So, Aurora is again finalizing their driverless technology. They've been testing. They've been working on the autonomous tech for many years. And so we're finally seeing some of the fruits of their labor come to fruition. And if you don't already follow them, make sure that you are connected with them as well so that you can stay up to date. If you miss a show and you're not getting the news here, I still want you to be up to date. And so they're working just as hard as DFW based Gaddick. They're working just as hard as Kodiak, who's also based in the Dallas area. That Dallas area is really, really on fire when it comes to the autonomous trucking technology. Let me stop and say hello to Katrina. Hello, Katrina. Thank you so much for watching the show. Welcome, welcome. And I would be remiss if I did not say hello to all of my people on TikTok. Hello, TikTok. Hey, J Bell. Hey, Kenny, Andrew, Carol's. Hello, Sam. Hello, Brenda Brown. How are you guys doing? Thank you so much for being on. Look, I'm here again every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's right here at the bottom. Make sure that you are tapped in to me across all of my platforms, not just here, across all of my platforms as well. And if you, I'll make sure that I put the link to to our website in the description box. So make sure you check out our website. There's some good tips and tools and things that you can, use to upskill and reskill and prepare yourself for what's to come. When we come back, I'll share another article in a partnership between Aurora and Volvo Trucks. When it comes to autonomous trucks entering the trucking and transportation industry, up until now, you've only heard bits and pieces, news here, news there. There's been no centralized place for you to learn about autonomous trucks. Join me every Wednesday and Thursday and Friday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time as I share information, news, and education on how you can stay prepared for autonomous trucks and autonomy entering the trucking and transportation industry. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me again. If you're new here, make sure that you are tapped in with me across all of my platforms. Make sure that you are following me and you turn on the notifications so that every time I go live, you never, ever, ever miss a show. Tomorrow's show is going to be absolutely phenomenal. I cannot wait. I'll share the details of that show here at the end of this show. But first, I want to get into an article, and I'm going to share a video here with you. This is a article called. It is courtesy of Fox News. It's coming right from Fox News. Autonomous big rigs from Volvo and Aurora are coming to the highway. So there's a video on it. Let me pull up my screen and I will share that with you right now. And let me unmute. Again, this is from Fox News, and this is a video from Fox News. Autonomous big rigs prepare to hit the highways.
Driverless big rigs that you'll soon be sharing the roads with. I'm Kurt the Cyber Guy. Follow me at cyberguy.com where my newsletter is free. Introducing the Volvo VNL autonomous truck, a fusion of cutting-edge technology and Swedish engineering, manufactured by Volvo and powered by Aurora Innovation. This big rig truck is a glimpse into the very near future of transportation. Aurora and Volvo have been working on this for a while, and now it's coming to life at some point. And guess what? These self-driving giants are hitting the highways sooner than you may think. Later this year, the company is launching pilot programs with real customers. Plus, Volvo's already started manufacturing an initial test fleet. The Volvo VNL truck's safety features include redundant steering, braking communication, and for now, the truck still has a human safety operator behind the wheel, ready to take control if needed. Are you ready to share the road with one of these driverless trucks? Not sure I am. I'd like to read your comments below. More cool tech like this at cyberguy.com. Are you getting my newsletter? You can get it for free by clicking the little red.
So, and that was a really interesting. And I just talked about Aurora and Uber. Now, Fox News is talking about Aurora and Volvo because they're doing a partnership, and Aurora essentially is adding their self-driving technology, their self-driving software inside the Volvo trucks. They're coming. Are you ready? And so my question to you is not, are you ready, from a are they coming, or if they're coming. My question to you is, are you ready from a professional development standpoint, from a career perspective, from a skill set perspective? Because you definitely need to be ready. And that's why I share in the learning lane. The learning lane is a place where I talk about some of the key skills and concepts that you need to be prepared for, that you need to be ready for in order to upskill, in order to reskill, and get yourself ready for what's to come. Because it's coming into our industry, whether we like it or not. Whether we like it or not, it is here. And it's time for us to prepare and be ready. Now, I want to ensure that so that you can stay abreast, because that's one of the key things. The key thing is to know what's coming, know what's out there, know who the key players are. And you can do this through downloading my free ebook. It's called Preparing You for the Future of Trucking and Preparing You for Autonomous Trucks. Because the future is here. And the question is, are you prepared? And so I want you to download the free ebook, and I'll have the link in the description box of this video. That way you can always know who the key players are. You'll know what skills you need to start working on and honing in on right now. One of the key skills that I focus on and really hit hard is the social skills, those soft skills. Those soft skills are going to be what sets you apart from everybody else. Because if the computer or the software or the self-driving technology, whatever you want to call it, is better, stronger, faster, smarter than you, what are those skills that you have to complement that software? The software is going to complement you, but you need to be ready to complement the software. We have a question from Katrina. Hello, Katrina, again. Thank you so much. So she says, is human safety operator the new title for truck drivers for autonomous trucks? Yes. So I talked about it a little bit earlier, how they use human driver, they use human safety operator. I've heard human pilot. I've heard quite a few things, but the common word in the title for drivers in the autonomous era has to do with human. The key word in every one of those titles is always human operator, human driver, human safety operator, human safety pilot. There's so many different variations of it, but human is still that key core word. So definitely something to consider, that because you're not a driver. If the truck is driving itself, you're not the driver. So driver is no longer a viable word to use. Driver is not feasible anymore. You're not driving. You are a pilot. You are an operator. You are you're a human operator, a human pilot. And of course, safety is going to be in there somewhere. So, no, very good point, Katrina. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I want to ensure that we get in the thought process and the mindset of understanding that if you're working autonomously with an autonomous company, if you are working with a mega carrier who partners with an autonomous company, and you are operating these self-driving trucks, that's why you always hear me say the word operator, you are essentially an operator. That is what you are. You're a pilot, you're an operator. So really great point. Thank you so much, Katrina, for bringing that up. Um, let's see here. So I want to just kind of talk about a little bit more um, that video. Here, let me hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts on a you're cruising down the highway, and this has been me. This has been me cruising between I 45 between Houston and Dallas, driving down the highway, and a self-driving 18-wheeler pulls up on the side of you, and it's got all the radars and the little bells and whistles off on the top, the lidar, all the sensors and the computers, and they're guiding it down the road. And so in this article, it talks about a survey. Surveys show that 65% of people would feel unsafe sharing the road with an autonomous freight truck. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? And where do you see this future going? Drop it in the comments and let me know. I love to hear your comments. I love to hear you guys' thoughts about the changes that are happening, and I also like to hear what you're doing as well to be able to prepare for these changes. All right. So, as you know, every segment, each show, I share a traditional truck driving job. When we come back, I'm going to share a truck driving job that I think you might be interested in. I'm Jerri Banks. Our agency focuses on driver recruitment and driver education. We focus on helping drivers and preparing them for the future of trucking and transportation as autonomous vehicles and automation enters the industry. Our goal is to ensure that you are equipped with the skills that you need to be successful in this new way of life. So make sure you connect with me across all of my platforms, Jerri Banks, Autonomous Trucking. I look forward to connecting with you. Now, a few years ago, I did a YouTube video, and it was back in early or late 2018, 2019, because I had a lot of drivers interested in and wanting to learn more about dollar store accounts. And back then, they were very, very lucrative. Even today, they are still very lucrative. And the video was called Everything That You Need to Know About Dollar Stores. And I'll link it right here and drop the video in the description box and link it right here so you can click on it and watch. But it's a detailed overview for everything that you need to know. Now, there's still so much more, but I'm going to be able to share that with you in the future. But I want to talk about a couple of truck driving opportunities that I have that are dollar store accounts. Dollar stores, I look at it this way. And this is what I've always told drivers. This is what I've told my son, who recently transitioned from OTR a couple months ago to a dollar store. And he loves the dollar store. Now, here's a couple things, though. Let me just preface by saying you have to be willing to unload the trailer. Dollar stores, you are going to unload that trailer. You are going to touch every box. If it's Dollar Tree or Family Dollar, you are touching every single box. 3,000 boxes typically, to be exact. And so on the dollar store account, I have actually two open that the team is standing by. So if you're interested in anything that I'm about to share, anything that I'm about to tell you, you can text Dollar Tree to the number at the bottom of the screen. And the girls are standing by and ready to go ahead and get you set up for this position. So the first one, it's out of Illinois. It's in Joliet, and it's a Dollar Tree, and drivers are home. Typically for dollar stores, you're home. You're out for the week and you're home for a 34-hour reset. This particular account, drivers are running between 600 to 800 miles, and they're doing about 3 loads a day, averaging anywhere between $1,400 to $1,600 a week. Now, there is a transition bonus on this particular account, and typically, though transition bonus, sign-on bonus, whatever you want to call it, typically they're broken down over a period of time. But I love the way that this particular company breaks theirs down, and I'll share that with you here. The way they break their dollar stores down, you're going to get like a little infusion right up in the front, and some companies will break, let's say, $1,000 down over 10 years or 2 years, or not 10. Nobody's staying there for 10 years for, sign up on this. But they'll break it down. And so the way this company breaks theirs down is you get let's see, it's 1,000 total, and you get some right after you pull your first load. So you pull your first load and you're getting that sign on bonus. And then typically it's within 30 days, you get another one. And it's every single either 30, 60, 90 days. And then by the end of that 180 days, you'll have the full payout. That's typically how most of them work. Now, this particular run, again, is out of the Joliet distribution center. It is home every week. And you do get $150 per day for ride along, because you're going to do 2 days of ride along so you can learn the account. So you can understand like all the ins and outs of it. And I'm going to share a video in a future show so you can see how to unload the truck. I'll have my son make a video and I'll have him I'll drop it in here so you guys can see step by step how he unloads the truck. And so there are some local based drivers on this particular account. Um, you're not necessarily home on the weekends on dollar stores. I always have to share that because a lot of drivers think that you're gone Monday through Friday and then you're off on the weekends. It just depends on how that particular store runs, how the particular stores on that lane operate. So if they're really staffed during the week, you might be delivering during the week. If they're really staffed on the weekends, you might be delivering in there on the weekends. And the reason why is because the store clerks, if you've ever gone to Dollar Tree, if you've ever gone to Family Dollar, the store clerks are the ones that are helping you to unload the truck. So you're in the top of the truck and you're putting piece by piece on what we call rollers. And those rollers are going to allow you to push those boxes all the way down. And they're not the lightest. Don't get me wrong, because you got dog food. Think of everything that's in the dollar store. You got dog food, you got canned goods, you got water. All of those things are in the dollar store. And so once you are putting the freight on the rollers, you push down, and then there's someone at the bottom taking the boxes off and stacking them up in inside the store. And so you have to wait on them, and you guys work together. But this particular account, it is hiring drivers right now. So if you live in that Chicago, around the Great Lakes area, so it's hiring in Chicago and some of Michigan. If it sounds like Kalamazoo, Valparaiso, Grand Rapids, Naperville, Chicago, Bolingbrook, Joliet, all in that little region there. So if it sounds like something that you're interested in, let me know. Let the team know. and we'd love to see if we can get you processed and approved and set up for orientation. Orientation is set up Mondays and Wednesdays. So typically, if you start on Monday, you'll pull your first load by Wednesday and you'll get paid by Friday. That is typically how the dollar stores work. Now, you can expect, again, like I said, anywhere to make anywhere between $60,000 to $70,000 in your first year. That's a great, great run. Now, let me tell you a little bit how dollar stores are broken down from a pay perspective. Um, the pay is broken down a couple different ways. So you get paid mileage pay, and in any job that you're going to, in any job that you're working on, you need to understand how the pay works. You need to know if there's detention pay, if there's layover pay, if you break down, are you going to still get paid? If so, what? Those are all things that you need to know when you are going to a new company. Ideally, you want these things in writing as well. That way you'll have it. So this particular dollar store, the pay is between 82 to 85 cents a mile. You're going to get paid for unload pay. So every trailer that you unload, and you typically unload about 2 to 4 trailers a week. The unload pay for this particular account is $245. The stop pay, so every stop you make along that route, you get an extra $25 for each stop. And then backhaul. So backhaul is at the store. They've got some things that, some supplies or equipment, or, different the carts or whatever that they need you to take back to the distribution center. You get paid $70 anytime you have a backhaul. And so on that $1,000, the way they're breaking it down, that's $1,000 sign-on bonus is real fast on this one, on this particular account. And all of them aren't like this, but this particular account, it is $1,000, $500 after you pull your first load, and then the other $500 after 30 days. So a nice fast infusion of cash. So if you're leaving one company and you're starting with this first company with this dollar store account, it won't be a long lag between the time you get paid. Because if you go to orientation on Monday, you finish orientation and get your truck by Wednesday, you pull your first load, $500 sign-on bonus, plus your orientation pay. And typically orientation pay is about $100 a day. So you're looking at $800 after that, getting that first load in that first week. So that's a huge plus for this dollar store. Now, you do have to unload. You do have to be able to be a good backer. That means that you got to back in small spaces. We know where Dollar Trees are. They're in those little strip centers. So you have to be able to back up, and you have to be able to get into those tight spaces. And that was one of the things that I was telling my son when when he was looking at dollar stores. You got to be able to back up. You got to be able to back up. You got to be willing and able to unload that truck. And he loves it because unloading that truck, it keeps him physically fit, and he is always moving. Now, I've got the this other account that I've got in Warrensburg, Missouri. So this particular dollar store, again, it's a Dollar Tree, and you're out for a week and you're home for a 34-hour reset. When you where you're going to be running, again, it's 100% touch freight. You gotta unload. But you'll be running in stores in like North Dakota, South Dakota, New England, Kansas, a lot in Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, a lot in Missouri, because that's where the distribution center is. But this particular account, it pays a little bit more than the Dollar Tree in Joliet. This one, the average gross for drivers who run 1,800 miles and pull 4 loads, the average gross is $2,000 a week. Of course, that's before taxes. I don't quote taxes because, everybody's tax situation is different. But average gross is $2,000 a week on a Dollar Tree account, hiring in the Warrensburg, Missouri area. Now, I've got this position open. If you're interested in it, make sure that you text the number at the bottom, and make sure that you are texting Dollar Tree. That way the team knows that, hey, I'm looking for Dollar Tree. I'm really interested. I want to get on it. And we can get you processed. We can get you approved. Now, here are the requirements. Make sure before you start texting, you meet these requirements. You have to have 3 months of experience, 3 months of tractor trailer experience. I had one of the girls told me that she had a couple drivers recently call that only had concrete truck experience or dump truck experience. That's Class B. None of our companies count that. So you want to ensure that you have the 3 months of experience. Okay. Now let's see here. I will. What else you need? You need to have a good driving record. No tickets, no accidents. And if you do have a few blemishes, it's something that we can look at and see if you meet the qualifications. The other thing is absolutely no violations in the clearinghouse. This time, there are no companies that we have that are hiring drivers with a violation in the clearinghouse. So, no violations in the clearinghouse. And the other thing that a lot of these companies, not just this company, but a lot of companies, look at your work history. How long were you at that job? What was the how many jobs have you had in the last 3 years, the last 2 years? Are you on your job for an average of 4 to 6 months? That's what the companies are looking for now. 6 months is a plus, 4 months is a maybe, right? They're going to look at some other things in regards to your driving record and background, and it'll be a company decision. But there's a lot of companies that really want you to have a good 4, 5, 6 months at a company before you leave. So before you leave, make sure that you are thinking about that. Now I want to show you. I do have the video for my son. He did unload the trailer. He did send me this video. I'm going to share it with you. It's a lot of work. Look, back in my day, I'm gonna date myself. Back in my day, in the early 2000s, on the aviation side, I worked the ramp. So this is very similar what I call working the ramp, because I was in the pit of the airplane and I was unloading bags. So that person that you see climbing up in that plane when you pull into the gate and they're unloading those bags and they're putting the bags down. Now they wouldn't like these little bitty dollar store boxes. Okay, that my son is loading on here. But you know, back in my day, I unloaded like some heavy stuff. These are no, I'm just playing. No, he's unloading 3,000 boxes. I probably unloaded maybe 200 bags or 150 bags. But here's the video. Let me share it with you. So it's fast. You don't really get to, but I really want you to see the rollers and how that trailer is set up with all those boxes. He did it. He did one of those fast things. I don't know what you call it. Y'all kids can tell me what you call a little fast thing where you go real fast. But we'll slow it down so you can actually see a little bit better. But I wanted you to see the rollers and I wanted you to see the boxes. How many boxes? He looked like he was maybe about 3/4 of the way through that trailer already. And so someone is at the bottom of that truck and they are the ones that's taking it off the bottom and taking it inside the store for him. So you're at the mercy of the person at the bottom, and he loves it. He absolutely loves the dollar store account. I didn't think he would at first, but he told me one of the things that he told me when we talked about getting on the dollar store account was he wanted to be moving. He was tired of the monotony of sitting and driving and sitting and driving and waiting at the shipper and this. And so with the dollar stores, you're not just moving, you are getting a workout in. So he didn't have to go to the gym anymore. He gets his workout in his trailer now. And so If you're interested, again, if you're interested in that dollar store account, make sure you text 832-572-5277. Text Dollar Tree, and one of the girls will get you set up. Now, let's move right into the learning lane. The learning lane is one of my favorite parts of the show. And it's where I share actionable tips and practical tools that you can use and learn to get ready for what's to come, right? And in today's learning lane, I'm going to talk about and explore some alternative pathways. What's an alternative pathways? This is a secondary pathway, or this is a an alternative to driving. It's an alternative. It's doing something outside of driving, and so or out not just outside of driving, maybe in driving, but outside of that general freight or outside of that reefer freight that you're moving. I'm gonna share a few things that I think that would be beneficial to you as we move and see the industry progress. Because we all know the trucking industry needs drivers, but what if you're looking for something else? Or maybe you're looking for a career change or even a promotion at what you currently do. And so there's so many opportunities beyond that traditional driver's seat. And if you notice, when I'm talking jobs, I talk traditional jobs because that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the traditional jobs that we've seen all over the years, but we're seeing new jobs be added. And it's a shift in our trucking industry because it's not just about, you know, driving those long hours. There's so many things that you need to start working on right now. And one of those things that I want you to start working on with this shift that we're seeing is building your communication skills, committing to safety, making sure that you are safe, no tickets, no accidents, nothing. And then understanding this new technology that's coming out here. How ways you can understand this new technology is through tapping into some of these free apps. edX is one, Allison Learning, Think Bills, IBM Skill Build. These are all places where you can go and tap into to learn more about technology. And so, beyond the wheel, let's talk about beyond the wheel. I want to talk about a critical role that I'm going to be highlighting and sharing and talk about. So if you're here today, I want you to be here tomorrow. You as well, my Facebook friend, my TikTok friends. I want you to be here tomorrow and my Facebook friends. Be here tomorrow so that you can learn all about an industry that is booming, a role that is there's a huge shortage of, and we have to and they need an influx of new workers, and that is the diesel technician industry. There is a huge shortage. If you think the shortage of drivers is a myth, and I have my own opinions about that because I don't think there's a shortage of drivers. I think there's a shortage of drivers that qualify. That's the shortage. As a recruiting agency, we see it every day. So it's my personal opinion, but it's what I see. But there is a true shortage of diesel technicians. And in tomorrow's show, I'm going to be bringing on the director of Select Technical Institute, Marshall Kaplan. And he's going to be sharing his insights on the diesel technician industry, the ins and outs of the education on becoming and getting your diesel certification. He's going to talk about the training that they offer at their institute and the job opportunities, because they offer what I love. It's a earn while you learn type thing. And so diesel technicians are home every day for the most part. They get to sleep in their own bed. Diesel technicians are paid very, very well. You have the opportunity to work either in a dealership, with Marshall's company, or you also have the opportunity to work on at a company where they manage and maintain the fleet of that company. And so I'm excited about the opportunity to bring Mr. Marshall on and talk about his inaugural class. Tomorrow, you're going to hear all about their very first class that they have. It started on June the 10th, and I cannot wait to for you guys to learn about the diesel technician certification. And you would be certified with Freightliner and Western Star trucks. That is what they certify on. So make sure that you come back tomorrow. We will have an amazing show with an amazing guest who diesel technician and starting this school and helping others. It's not a job for him, and that's what I love about Mr. Marshall. It's not a job for him, it's a ministry. It's a ministry. And I got the opportunity a couple months ago to go over to the school and tour it and see they have 100 bays at their dealership, 100 bays where mechanics are there working on and repairing trucks. I even saw a fire truck in there. They were repairing a fire truck, dump trucks, garbage trucks. It was full of trucks to be repaired. And so that shortage, why can't you fill it? Why do you have to stay in a box? Come back tomorrow so you can learn all about becoming a diesel technician and a school that is open and ready to fill their next cohort. Thank you guys so much for being here today. It's been a fantastic show. It's going to be even better tomorrow. I can't wait to see you. My name is Jerri. Make sure that you are tapped in. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel and follow me across all of my platforms. Turn on notifications so you never miss an opportunity when I go live. This has been amazing. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye.